Welcome to 80s Joes. So today we're going to be working on 3 projects from the Wade Brigade. I have been shopping online, purchasing some parts for different figures and vehicles. Today we're going to be focusing on 3. One of them is the S.H.A.R.C. The S.H.A.R.C came with the Wade Brigade and was in really good shape. It had the missiles and the turrets still work. Had the vanes back here and the end caps in the back of the thrusters. The only thing that was missing was the canopy. So I found this canopy online on eBay for $8. I just got it today, so I'm going to throw it in with these repairs. But I'm already noticing that this tab here looks like it's about to break. So I'm going to have to be really careful when I put that in. I'm going to clean this with Meguiar's Plastics. I saw this used on a YouTube channel, Form BX257, and it worked really good for that guy. So I'm going to use it on that. So that's going to be the S.H.A.R.C project, just cleaning and putting the canopy on. That should be easy. These two I'm really looking forward to though. This is the Wade Brigade SnowJob, and I pointed this out when I brought him, when I unboxed him, that he has some, I don't know, suspicious yellowing. It's just absolutely on certain parts and not on others. It doesn't bleed onto the other parts. So I don't know how that happened, but hopefully that makes fixing him easier. He needs a new O-ring. So here's the SnowJob that I got on eBay. He was bundled with a Polar Battle Bear, which I think he should have come with that vehicle anyway. They both came out in 1983, and I got SnowJob, but I didn't get the Polar Battle Bear for myself when I was a kid. And I hated that. I wanted that vehicle, but, you know, I had to be picky about which ones to ask for. So I'm going to switch the front of his torso and his right thigh, outer thigh, right outer leg, with these two. And then Wade's has a better face anyway. You see that? So my focus is to restore the Wade Brigade pieces. Although this is a good SnowJob. That one's going to be a great SnowJob when I'm done. And Bazooka. I also mentioned this on the unboxing video that I'm going to lean toward replacing the entire waist piece instead of repairing crotches. Besides, he didn't have his crotch with him. So I got this Bazooka on auction on Whatnot. And I got him from good old G.I. Jason. That was a fun auction. And I thought I bought him, didn't care about the shirt much, I just wanted the waist. But then after I got him and I started looking at him, and looking at Wade's Bazooka has a crack in the shoulder, in the collar. So I'm going to replace the front of the torso, which is too bad because the Wade Brigade 14 is in much better shape than this 14. So I hate to do it, but I think a broken collar is more important to replace. So I'm going to replace these two pieces on Bazooka. First, we'll take out the O-rings and get them washed up. well, so cutting to the chase, in taking his leg apart, I broke off this little peg here for his leg. However, this is the piece I was going to replace anyway. With that being said, now I'm a little gun shy on doing that to this leg. Maybe I shouldn't. So, just to keep things from getting worse, I guess I'll replace the whole leg onto here. So we'll get him washed up. We'll get both of them washed up and get the parts replaced. So let's take the SnowJob apart. All right. Couple SnowJobs, couple Bazookas, and a SHARC canopy. Let's start cleaning. So now we have all of the action figures washed and dried. And I'm taking a second look at Bazooka's torso here. So you can see the crack in Wade's Bazooka's torso here. This one doesn't have a crack. However, this 14 looks much worse. The paint doesn't seem as bright of a red on this one. Maybe that's just years of yellowing, maybe. But this one still looks better, even with the crack. You can barely see it. And looking in here, it doesn't look like it's hurt the structure any. So I'm going to keep the front. And we'll just do what I originally intended to do. I'm going to take the waist piece from this Bazooka and put it over here with the Wade Brigade Bazooka. So here we go. Boom. Boy, that went on easier than I thought it would. I can see why his crotch would break. So I don't know if you can see in here, but the T-bar, the crotch piece is so thick that it doesn't clear the T-bar. No wonder that crotch breaks. All right, so let's get him back together. All right, look at that. There's Bazooka. Not too tight. There he is. There is Bazooka without his crotchless pants. I am going to give Bazooka a little Grecian formula. We'll knock 15 years off of him. I don't have a very steady hand. So I don't want to take too many risks. So I'm not worried about hurting the value of this because I'm not going to sell it. But I do want him looking sharp. Make sure I don't get his nose. Ah! All right, so let's get that before it dries too quick. Let's get some of this magic eraser. See if I can get that off of there. Yep. About that blue mark. I got that blue mark off too. All right. Little marker, little magic eraser. Looking good there, Bazooka. So now we've moved on to SnowJob, and I've already reattached the entire right leg from the SnowJob that I bought online to Wade's. You can tell a little bit of a difference. Might come up, it might show up better on camera, but this new leg is a little dingier. I did use some magic eraser on it, and it actually improved it quite a bit. There was still some brown in the crevices here, in the creases. So that magic eraser finished up the job that the toothbrush didn't get. So it's not bad. It's still better than having one panel like that. So now the next step is going to be to replace the front. That's a pretty easy call, isn't it? All right, let's put them together. There he is. SnowJob. That's the wrong screwdriver right now. Tighten them up so that gap closes there. Look at that, man. Look at SnowJob. Looking good there, buddy. Yeah. It's a big difference. That's like a desert trooper. Yeah. There you go. The Wade Brigade SnowJob. And for the canopy cleaning for the S.H.A.R.C, I used Meguiar's Plastics. And I just put some on a soft cloth and I just rubbed it in. And I put more dabs on the cloth and I kept rubbing it in. And it's a mild abrasive, so the idea is to get the top layer of scratched plastic rubbed off. So it did, I think it did a good job getting rid of the cloudiness. It definitely feels a lot smoother. Not just clean, like it feels smooth. There's still some parts, but man, overall, it took little effort. I did record it, but there was a lot of background noise, so I'm not going to use it, but yeah. So again, I'm a little concerned about this tab right there. See, that one's looking good, but that one, we'll see. So they go into this part of the S.H.A.R.C, so I gotta fit those under here. Actually, I gotta slip them into there and there without breaking these things. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put this in first, like that. And then this looks like it's just gonna slide in, hopefully. Yeah. Ah, there it is. There it is. There's the canopy for the S.H.A.R.C. The Wade Brigade S.H.A.R.C can now go on missions. Oh boy. There we go. Let's get deep 6. Wade had 2 deep 6s. So this one was more played with, definitely. So deep 6 would go in here. There it goes. And the S.H.A.R.C could go underwater or fly in the air as well. The S.H.A.R.C was a cool vehicle because it did both of those things. You know, there wasn't much to it. It's little. It had 2 missiles that came off down here. And it had, you know, it's got the 2 turrets on each side. But the fact that you could pretend that it goes underwater and that it could fly, you could do both, go from one to the other, was great. Made it a great toy. And Deep 6, loved Deep 6. Yes, it was unfortunate that he only had 2 points of articulation, but he came with the S.H.A.R.C. So I think the later versions of Deep 6 are really cool, and they finally gave him some articulation. So there you go. A fixed S.H.A.R.C. Yo, Joe.